Okay, so next we can merge vertices another way. We can select two vertices on a mesh or more. We can select a lot more than that if we want to, but I'll do it with just two. And we can shift right click, merge vertices to center. And that's just going to pop them into the center. This is important because a lot of times it's going to be actually more convenient to kind of, it feels like working backwards, but you kind of destroy your mesh sometimes just so you can move forward. Okay, so like sometimes this isn't very useful, but sometimes it's useful to put a hole in your mesh and then close it up by merging vertices. Okay, so now let's see. We got delete vertices. That's pointless also. An extrude or vertice. Don't use that. I don't even know what it does, but it sounds terrible. Okay. Now that's really all of the polygon modeling tools. I'm going to show you one last one though that's ultra dangerous, and I do not recommend its use. But I'm really only bringing it up so that you'll know that I do know that it exists, and I do not want you to use it. But if you right click on your mesh and go to paint and then sculpt, then you will have a brush that allows you to sculpt the geometry kind of in a more sculptural fashion. It does way too much, too fast, is really hard to control. Even for experts, they reserve it till the very end of the modeling process. And when they do, they use it very sparingly. Okay, but it seems like it might be pretty nice to use, I admit. Do not use it. Not in front of me. Okay, so that's that. Now we need to talk about some of the what an n-gon is, because basically we want all of our meshes to be made up completely of quads. And a quad just means it has a single face, has four edges. So we want all quads in our mesh. Believe it or not, in film, all of the meshes in film are 100% quads, regardless of what shape they're forming. Okay. Every now and then, in games especially, they'll create triangles because they're trying to conserve geometry. And ultimately in games, the meshes are turned into triangles anyway by the game engine. Okay, so they're not terribly concerned about having triangles, other than still quads are better when you're actually actively working on the mesh. Okay, now if you need to insert a vertice for some reason, which is actually quite common, so I won't pretend that it's not. If I go to object mode and I go to split polygon tool, you may find yourself in this scenario where I've added a vertice right here. You can't see it unless I go into vertex mode. So press F8. And there's this little purple dot right here. I can select it and turn it yellow. Now, regardless of these two faces being squarish, this one actually is a square, they are not quads. By having this additional vertice here, I have 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 vertices. That makes it what we call an n-gon, meaning it has more than 4 sides. These are bad always, no matter which production you work in. Okay, regardless of what it looks like, it cannot be an n-gon. I see this all the time in this class, so that's why I'm emphasizing it. So there we are. There's 5 sides. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Okay, not that you guys couldn't count, but again, trying to add emphasis. Okay, so n-gons are always bad. It doesn't matter how many sides there are more than 4. It just matters if there's more than 4, it's bad. Okay, now, why? That's a lengthy discussion. I won't record that. Okay, but I will answer it. Okay, so if you find yourself in this scenario, this exact scenario, then you need to figure out some way to divide this mesh up, and that's called remeshing. So one way to do that is if you select a vertice, and if the vertice only has 2 edges coming into it, it's a non-essential vertex, and you can just select it and press delete, and it will delete that vertice. Now that's different than if I were to select all the vertices of this mesh. All the rest of these I happen to know right now are essential. That means there's more than 2 edges connected to a single to all the rest of the vertices. So I could select all of them if I wanted to, which I have, and press delete. And oh, there was actually one right here that wasn't. So if I undo, see this vertice only had 2 edges attached to it. So when I hit delete, it got rid of it. The non-essential vertex. So that's the fastest way there is to clean up vertices that you don't need. Okay. Now a lot of these modeling methods, these are tools that I just discussed, but modeling methods is where I will actively teach you kind of one-on-one because it seems to work out better that way. Okay.